Now, we're starting to get into the Oscar season.
Yes, we are.
Now, Wade and I are members of the LA Film Critics Association. We voted for our year-end awards last Sunday. And the one film that I was very surprised got no love from the group, the LA Film Critics Association, was The Fighter.
Didn't surprise me.
And The Fighter has a couple things going for it from an awards perspective, not necessarily from a quality perspective.
Yeah.
Christian Bale, Amy Adams for some reason, and just the film itself is one of those pedigree type Oscar films.
It did get some love in the room for one performance, though. It did get some. There were a lot of votes for Melissa Leo.
You know what, I have to say that I thought Melissa Leo was over the top.
Really?
Yes.
Well, we're gonna get into this right now. Let me intro this just a little bit. The Fighter is the new film from David O. Russell, who has previously made films like Flirting with Disaster, Three Kings. He had that legendary blow-up with Lily Tomlin.
That's right, I Heart Huckabees,
on I Heart Huckabees.
Which is the worst movie ever made.
Horrendous.
I Heart Huckabees is the worst film ever made.
Thank you. Anyway, if you haven't seen it, go to YouTube and Google Lily Tomlin and David O. Russell. You'll see his meltdown and her incredibly professional way of coping with it. Unbelievable. Anyway, David O. Russell's still a very talented director. This is actually produced by Mark Wahlberg, who initiated the project based on the life of, or the experiences of a couple of brothers who are legendary boxers in Massachusetts. Let's see a clip.
We're gonna train, they gotta go.
They gotta go, Mick, come on.
Hey, all right?
Ask him, George. Ask him if he would have won Sanchez without his brother.
Hey, take him outside, right?
No, I wouldn't have won Sanchez if it wasn't for Dickie.
How can you say that to O'Keefe?
Because it's true. Right, I went in with our game plan, it wasn't working, so I went back to what I learned with Dickie. And I wouldn't have won without you either, O'Keefe, okay? I mean, you know that. We worked hard, you got me ready.
You got your confidence and your focus from O'Keefe, and from Sal, and your father, and from me. Dickie's a junk bag.
Hey.
He's a junk bag.
Why am I the problem? I'm his blood, I'm his
You're the
family.
problem.
I'm the one fighting, okay? Not you, and not you. I know what I need.
And you need Dickie?
I want Dickie back. And I want you, Charlene, and I want O'Keefe. I want my family. What's wrong with that?
All right, the character played by Mark Wahlberg is Micky Ward, and the character played by Christian Bale is Dickie Eklund. Notice they're half-brothers, they have different last names. Mickey and Dickie. Kind of has a nice ring to it. Now, the Christian Bale character is famous for having once knocked down Sugar Ray Leonard, and that's kind of it. In this movie, he's past his prime, and he's a crack addict, but he's still an incredibly powerful presence in motivating his brother to get a title shot. And the movie is essentially about this tempestuous relationship between the two brothers, and at what point does family drag you down instead of pushing you up? Amy Adams plays the girl who kind of gets back behind Mickey and says, you know what, you don't need your family, they're holding you down. And Melissa Leo plays the domineering mother of the two kids, who is determined to continue to play a part in both sons' lives, no matter what. And the domineering matriarch part, I think, actually suits her well. You thought she was over the top. I actually thought she was the best thing about the movie. Mark Wahlberg kind of doing his thing. I thought Christian Bale was way over the top, incredibly miscast, not well directed. I thought Russell should have put a lasso around him and dragged him right back down to earth. He just, from the first scene, he's just terrible. But the movie is not bad, but it's not great. It's just kind of every boxing movie cliche wrapped into a very competent package, but it didn't wow me, it didn't engage me. I didn't see anything either in the staging of the fight scenes or in the dramatic scenes that really kind of took me somewhere that I haven't been taken many, many times before, and in a better way. So I kind of don't see the point to the film.
I am generally in agreement with you, actually. I think when you look at the three performances you mentioned, the thing with Mark Wahlberg is that ultimately I think he means well, but he's not a very deep actor.
No.
You know, I think that he can play porn stars and movie stars and whatever, but when you really need somebody to project emotionality and project conflict, he's just not that deep an actor. And here you need somebody like that. When it comes to... You have a point?
Well, I was just going to say, you know, again, I'm not even sure if he were a better actor that it would have changed the film, because ultimately it's a movie about a boxer. And I'm not saying we shouldn't have any more movies about boxers, but I had a bit of the same problem with Ali. You know, really competent film, Will Smith, terrific lead performance. But you know what? I've seen all that stuff in other movies. I kind of lived through all of that stuff when I was a kid. I remember all the stuff in Ali. And boxing movies, they kind of don't do it for me anymore. I just don't know where they have to go. And I feel like they've been there since Raging Bull. And the only one since Raging Bull is $1 Million Baby that kind of did anything different because it was about a woman.
Well,
and now I feel like, well, between Raging Bull and $1 Million Baby, we're done with boxing. Find something else.
Well, the thing here, which would have made the film more successful, is that really it's a movie about family. It's a movie about a guy who has to choose between his family and this other way of doing things that would ostracize and send him away from his family. Now, that's what the movie really should have been about.
A little like Animal Kingdom?
Like Animal Kingdom. And by the way,
which is a better film.
You mentioned Animal Kingdom. If you look at Jackie Weaver versus Melissa Leo, why was Jackie Weaver better? Because she was domineering, but she was quiet. The power came from within.
And at the end, because in Animal Kingdom, Jackie Weaver, you love her at the beginning, a little bit like John Hawkes in Winter's Bone, where it almost in reverse. John Hawkes is a guy that you hate at the beginning of the film. You're scared of him. By the end of the film, you love him, you embrace him. And Jackie Weaver, you love her, you embrace her, and then she scares the daylights out of you by the end of the film. Those two trajectories are very difficult to pull off. So I admit those are two great performances.
And then the last thing I'll say before we move on to Little Fockers is...
do we have to?
Christian Bale, exactly.
Really?
Christian Bale, just act. You know? Here's the thing with Christian Bale. I'm a little over his look at me be real sort of performances where everything is external. He loses 125 pounds. He acts like a crazy man. He runs up and down with his rubbery, crack-addicted limbs and walks out. Forget it, just act. You know, he's become very He's become very, and he can be an interior actor because he's so good.
No,
but
he's absolutely capable of it.
He's become very exterior. It's all about what you see in what you see.
You know, there are certain actors that are very, very much in command of their abilities. They can walk out there and they can just nail it. You know, Dustin Hoffman's one of those kind of actors. You give them what they're supposed to do and they go out and they nail it. And then Gene Hackman can do that. Give him what he's supposed to do, he walks out, he nails it. Doesn't really need much direction. And then there are actors, and my father used to say Bette Davis was one of these, where they need a good director. The talent is there, but they don't necessarily have the externality of on their own talent to know how to sort of modulate a performance. But they can do it. They just need a director to wrestle them into that place. And I blame David O. Russell for that, really. I mean, Christian Bale will go out there with all the energy in the world, and you need a good director to kind of tailor that performance, drag him back in, down, boy, down, put a leash on him, pull him back. And he's capable of it, and he could have done a good part here. I still think he's a little miscast, but Russell just was not willing to pull him back.
There's two reasons for that. Either because they were in agreement that this is how the character should be played,
which would be unfortunate.
Or also unfortunate that he was too scared because he doesn't want some Christian Bale Terminator 3 rant on the set of The Fighter. You know what I mean? Because Christian Bale is a very tough character.
He's volatile.
He's a volatile guy.
Yeah, but he ain't as volatile as Russell Crowe. And Russell Crowe also has more understanding of his own externalities. So
there you go. So that's The Fighter. So it is what it is.
You know what? Look,
it's
a film that critics are going to be much harsher on than say actors who are going to. You know, it's an actors movie. That's why it got the SAG nominations. It's why it's the Hollywood foreign press. They aren't actors, but they tend to be much more enamored of celebrities. So it's a film that obviously has an audience out there, but it's not necessarily a critical audience. It's a more populist audience.